I want to mention Cam Ward out of Miami. He's actually on my big board, just outside that top 10 there. I think he's a good quarterback. He can make a lot of good throws. He's accurate, has a big arm, throws with a lot of velocity too, which is definitely needed in today's NFL with how fast passing windows and throwing windows can kind of close. Yeah, I think he's the best quarterback in his draft class. It's looked like for the last few weeks or so, even last month, that the Tennessee Titans are going to take him with the first overall pick.
So in the NFL, do you think with Travis Hunter playing both positions in college, you think he takes one or the other? You think he plays both? You think there's a trial period about where he plays, and that's also dependent on the coaching staff, depending on where he goes. Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
Yeah, I would say it kind of depends on which team drafts him. Um, like right now, if I had to guess which team would draft him, I'd probably go the Cleveland Browns with this who have the second overall pick would end up getting him. And on the Browns, I think it would make more sense for him to probably start at a wide receiver just because you look at their depth at wide receiver outside of Jerry Jeudy, who had a phenomenal year last year for sure in Cleveland. The wide receiver depth isn't the greatest, so I think him being there, wide receiver, to start off at least would make a lot of sense. At the same time, they also have Denzel Ward, who's an all-pro cornerback, and if you pair Hunter up with him, that would also be a pretty good duo, especially considering the fact that the Browns are actually considering trading Greg Newsome, who's not one of their top cornerbacks. So Hunter could play there. But I think, yeah, it kind of depends on the team that gets him. I think if it's the team like the Browns, they'll probably start out wide receiver a little bit more. Maybe if it's a team like the Giants, who already have that wide receiver one who's really good, and Blake Neighbors, who they drafted last year in the first round, maybe they'll start him at cornerback because that's kind of a position the Giants need a little bit more, a little more infusion of talent there, I'd say as well. Um, but yeah, I would say it kind of depends on the team for sure.
Dual Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, 6'3", 250 pounds from Philadelphia. And what makes him so special at the edge position?
Yeah, I would say his versatility and then also just his like freakish athleticism. Like this is a guy, he'll beat offensive linemen off the edge, with his speed, and also not only his speed but also his hands, being able to beat them with different pass rush moves, whether it be a spin move, whether it be a rip move, whatever it is, he just is really good at getting to the quarterback. And obviously in today's NFL, outside of the quarterback position, um, I would honestly make the argument that the edge rusher is the second most important position in the NFL, or I guess you could say left tackle, who have to, block the edge rushers. So yeah, like it's very very important, and I think Abdul Carter, whoever gets him, they're going to be getting a special talent there on the edge to anchor their defense for the next decade.
So, what does that elite speed do for his draft stock? What do you think within that edge rush position?
Oh well, yeah, it certainly boosts it. It definitely boosts his drive stock a lot because, especially when you're coming off the edge, someone that has the get off and the speed that he has, it gives him that initial advantage already when he's going up against offensive linemen. And it's like as soon as the ball is snapped, he's coming for that quarterback. And if you're an offensive lineman, you gotta hurry up and get in your pass set and get ready to battle because he's gonna be, trying to make some plays there in the backfield. So I think having that speed, it really allows him to kind of even instill that kind of fear into offensive linemen, into those tackles on the edge there. And I think that definitely made his stock go even higher, combined with his other attributes as well that he brings to the table.
Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, 5'9", 211, from Jacksonville, Florida. Now, could you see his run game? We've seen his highlights. Could we see his ability to run the ball be as effective as we saw with Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott in Dallas, or Todd Gurley and Jared Goff early in their careers? Do you think he has the ability to be as effective as those legends in the game that I just mentioned?
I think he does for sure. I mean, you mentioned his talent, his ability to break off those big runs with his speed and everything like that. So I think Genty can. He's one of those guys. I think he's going to come in. I would say after Abdul Carter, even more than Hunter, because obviously there's like kind of questions with where he's going to play and how much. But I think after Abdul Carter, I would say Genty is the next player in this draft class, the rookie that's going to come in and going to have that immediate impact where he's gonna be like an all pro, Pro Bowl kind of player right off the bat.
We know his speed. Is there anything else that really stands out to you as a running back here for Genty?
I would say his contact balance. I think just one word to describe his contact balance: elite. He's not someone who he's not gonna go down after the first tackle attempt. It doesn't really matter who it is. He's gonna break that tackle and he's gonna keep those legs churning, and he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna break off those big plays. So I do think that's his best ability at running back. Although, like you mentioned, his speed, his vision, power. I mean, who knows? We could have another Adrian Peterson on our hands here, with Ashton Genty. So,
So, what do you think Mason Graham brings to the position at defensive tackle?
in one word, everything. He brings everything to the table. He's someone who, you can put him on there from day one, whichever team drafts him, and he's gonna be a fantastic player. He's gonna stop the run. He's gonna push the pocket, which is
Yeah.
obviously very important, and he's gonna rush the passer very well as well. He's just going to be that do it all kind of player, and he's also going to add a lot of leadership, I think, too. With him being on that Michigan Wolverines team that won the 2023 College Football National Championship, one of the best defenses in college football we've seen in history, of how dominant they were that year. So I think Graham's going to add a lot to whichever team gets it.
Warren did finish seventh in Heisman Trophy voting. That was the highest a tight end finished since Notre Dame's Ken McAfee finished third in 1977. So finishing seventh and being within the Heisman Trophy conversation, how much does that impact his draft stock, you think? Just how prestigious the Heisman Trophy is. What are your thoughts?
No, I think that setting history, making history like that, I think that definitely makes his draft stock even higher as well because now scouts and general managers, they're looking at each other going, this is not no ordinary, tight end here, who, we can get in the fourth round, fifth round. This is a guy who's going to should be a top 10 pick. And, putting up those numbers again, obviously Drew Aller, he had there at Penn State, the quarterback. He was a solid quarterback there. But it's not like he had a Caleb Williams or if he had, someone like a Trevor Lawrence or one of these generational quarterback prospects that we've seen the last few years. And I think definitely that makes general managers themselves go, oh, maybe even if we don't have a great quarterback in place yet, if we put this guy in our offense, he can go out there and catch 80 passes and for 900 yards and 8 touchdowns, and that's an all Pro Bowl caliber year, right? So I would say for sure, like that definitely makes general managers and scouts, take a deep look at him for sure.
With Walker, his leadership in Georgia was a big thing in the locker room and on the field. So, what does that do for his upbringing in the NFL, having a leadership role in his college at Georgia? Will that transfer over to the NFL, to wherever he's drafted?
I think it will because especially now coming into the pros where you're playing with you're playing with grown men obviously and and people who have more experience than you, um,
Yep.
along with your fellow rookies, of course. But I do think that's going to help him. It's going to help him in terms of just being able to relate to the veteran players as well. Having that leadership in college on a great Georgia team. Obviously, Kirby Smart being there, in my opinion, the best coach in college football now that Nick Saban's retired. So like being able to have that leadership aspect and come to the NFL locker room, I think that's gonna help him a lot, and he's gonna have that kind of even he's gonna have that respect as well from the veterans in the locker room because they know that this person is not only a talented player but he's a leader as well, and they're gonna want to work alongside someone like that.